Years ago, I was given the responsibility to take the branding and the identity of our campus and our university to the next level. When I was given that responsibility, I was told, drive the bus. And I tend to take things really literally. So at that point, the idea sparked in my head, well, why don't we take our brand and put it on a bus? At that point, I kind of expressed that idea to some people, and they told me to explore it. So I took a look at some of the different companies that manufacture the graphics, that do the actual bus wrap, as well as looking at the bus companies that go around town and seeing what it would take and to make that happen. But at the time, the stars didn't kind of align for a number of different reasons. So we kind of tabled it for a while, but then pretty recently, actually, that spark kind of came back. We heard from our athletic director, Lisa Goddard-McGurk, who was recently in a conversation with Coach USA, who is our charter bus company that our student athletes use, as well as our student body uses for different trips outside of the university. And she said, hey, we have this opportunity. They're going to let us wrap a bus if we want to. So this was super exciting. So we got to work immediately. Trying to figure out what it would take to make this actually happen. Okay, so it's one thing to talk about it, but now we've got a whole bunch of steps that need to happen to go from start to finish on this project. So after we kind of discussed it with the company, and we found a graphics company that was able to help us out and partner with us on this, Leader Graphics, a local company, we really talked about what it would take to make this happen. So once we had that, we had to come up with a design for it, okay, because this is a design. So the first thing that we did was go out to the bus company and take a look at the bus. I think that's the first stage in any creative process, is to actually understand the problem at hand. When we got out there to take a look at the bus, one of my first takeaways was, wow, this is huge. We see city buses driving around day to day, but this is a Coach USA charter bus, right? It's got extra space for luggage, extra comfort in it, so it's really big. Standing next to it, I kind of took a step back and said, wow, this is a lot of surface area to cover. So we got some pictures of it, so we were able to take those back to the office and really think about what we were doing. From that point, I scratched my head for a little bit because this was a big deal. I didn't want to mess it up. I wanted to get it right the first try. So I like to kind of take it in. I did some research on other buses that are out there, what other places had done. What I thought was really interesting in my research of university buses was there's not a lot of D2 schools that I could find, at least, that had a full bus wrap. There's a bunch that have like a logo on the side, but we had the opportunity to really take this to the next level and do a full wrap of the bus, which is a lot of real estate, but it had the potential to be really cool that way. So after I got past that, and honestly, there was a little bit of fear associated with that, we started sketching. Next step in the creative process. Ever since the beginning, you sketch some thumbnails. You kind of figure out where you're going to lay things out, lay out that skeleton for your project at hand. After a bunch of thumbnails, picked my favorite, thought I knew what was going to execute good or execute well as we move forward once we moved it over to the digital side of things. So getting that all into the computer, getting kind of a template of the bus on there, actually then laying out the elements to scale on that, seeing how they all interact together, seeing how the colors, we got to have our maroon and gold really bold on there, right? Got to see how that maroon and gold really work together, make sure we've got our logo elements, make sure we've got everything that will really express this Gannon brand as this rolling billboard goes across the country, not just locally, but it's going to go across the country. So we have to make sure that we make it really apparent that it's our brand for these people that may have never heard about Gannon before. I hope they had, but if they hadn't, then they'll know about us once we pass through town. So got some options together digitally, and then, I was kind of looking at them, and I said, okay, I have a few favorites, but really leaned on our team. We have a really strong team here. So put them out to the team and said, hey guys, what do you think? Kind of vote, tell me what you like, what you don't like. I didn't tell them my favorites, even though I had them at the time, and surprisingly, they chose the same ones that I chose. So we were all kind of on the same page, which is really nice. So there were a few tweaks here and there, so we got those all firmed up, and at that point, we were able to take the design in further communication with both Coach USA and Leader Graphics, had the design, now need to see what those capabilities were, both on the technical side of the graphic reproduction and vinyl and wrap form, as well as with the bus company, what they were going to allow us to do to their bus. Luckily, everybody worked really well together, a few tweaks here and there, but there wasn't too much that needed changed from our original design. We didn't have to stray from it, which was really nice. We improved on it in a few areas and made sure everybody would be happy as well. So we took that design, we sent it off to our folks at Leader Graphics, and they were then taking it and making it so it could be in all these individual panels of vinyl that were going to be applied to this bus surface. It's always great to see what happens after you click print or after you click OK on your computer, what it takes to actually get in hand. So, working with that process, the next step after they finished that, when I think one of the best parts of this was when we actually got to go out there. We met the bus at the bus garage before it was going to come to campus that day to be revealed to our students. We had tried to keep this a secret. I don't know if it was the best kept secret on campus, but we had tried to keep the reveal a secret so not too many people knew what they were going to be seeing. So being one of the first people to actually get to see this physically was really cool. I think it was really humbling to see it go from my computer screen to a billboard on wheels, really, as it drove across town that first time. We actually kind of chased it for a little bit in the car, which was fun as well. So all in all, it's been a really interesting project to work on, something I've never worked on quite to this scale, with this much involvement with these different moving pieces, literally. In the end, we ended up with a bus that not only has the utility of transporting our students from point A to point B, but also serves as a billboard on wheels, also really gives school pride, I think, to our student athletes who are driving into another campus. This isn't something you typically see with D2 schools, having a full wrap bus like this, so I think it's really important. Since it launched, I've gotten a lot of phone calls from different people across the university saying, well, how do we take that bus somewhere? So it's been really gratifying to see that part of it, that people are really on board with this, and that it's going to be something that's going to be around for quite a few years moving forward.